Thank you for joining me for part 2 of the reading of Dash My Love, a fanfic by RainbowDashian. As you should already know this if you read, or rather listened to part 1. Anywho, once again, still a blind read, so I do not know what is coming up in the story ahead. So, please enjoy. Dash and I went walking around in the fields after lunch. We'd been sent by my brother to tear out old fence posts for firewood. Dash and I had spent the time getting to know each other instead. Around 7, Dash said, "I need to tell you something." What is it?" "It'd be easier if I showed you," she answered. She started pulling off her shirt. My face got hot. She yelled, "Turn around!" I did. After a minute or so, she said, "You can turn back around now." The first thing I noticed was that she wasn't wearing her gloves anymore. Then I saw that they had intertwined with her shirt to create this elaborate-looking harness thingy. Before I could ask anything, she showed me the tattoo on the back of her hand. It was the exact same as Rainbow Dash's cutie mark from the TV show. "Equestria is real." Wait, what? 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 Wait, how'd you know I knew what Equestria was? "You have a poster of the show in your room." Right. Continue. "As I was saying, Equestria is real. During the incident involving him, Discord opened a portal into this world. A few ponies went through and, when they did, transformed into human-like creatures to fit the image of this world. They were human, except with the exception of their cutie marks being on the back of their hands, and that they retained their respective differences. The Pegasi kept their wings, the unicorns kept their horns, and the earth ponies kept, well, they just didn't have wings or a horn. The portal closed before they could go back through. The 20 or so ponies trapped in this world had to make a pact to only reproduce with other ponies. Well, that was 500 years ago. Sadly, a century or two ago, a lot of them broke the pact. Almost half of the ponies had children with humans, and almost none of these children were ponies. I'm one of the lucky few, sadly. My mom died in childbirth, and my dad didn't. And still doesn't have any idea what I am. Despite me living in New York City and the extremely high population, it wasn't until the 7th grade when I discovered another pony. We didn't know each other very well, but we had some kind of telepathic link with each other. Her name was Adriana. She was a purebred unicorn, and she told me everything that had happened over the generations. Shortly after, she was accidentally shot in the chaos of a gang fight. That made my dad move to Florida. Then we moved up here because of his work. Now, do you have any questions after my rant? Yeah. How do the unicorns add their horns? Really? That's your question? Well, it's on my mind. They wear hats, or make their hair poofy. That's how the afro originated. Anything else? Yep. What's with that get-up? Let me show you. She took a deep breath, and then her wings unfurled out of holes in the back of the shirt. She spun around and got me in a bear hug from behind. Hold on. She took off. Dash flew like she wasn't even carrying me. We flew over the fields for a short while, and then we reached the edge of the farm. She landed. It was getting dark. We should head back, I said. Dash was about to take off again when it started raining. Raining really bad. Crap! can't fly in this! It's too windy! We'd die! After we found shelter underneath a large pine tree, I texted my brother and told him we couldn't make it home because of the rain. He replied with a message saying to stay dry and, well, to not eat any wild plants. It was really hot underneath the tree. It was one of those winter rains that seemed to heat up the surrounding landscape. I walked outside of the tree's bow to collect some rainwater in as big a pool as I could in my waterproof jacket. When I came back, I found Dash sitting there in her underwear. I had dropped my jacket and water spilled everywhere. It's really hot, and now the ground's soaking wet. You can't sleep there, it's dry over here. I walked over and sat down next to her. It was really hot, so I took off my shirt, then checked the time on my phone. It was 10:30. We should probably go to sleep. Yeah, Dash had agreed. We laid down, and she pulled me closer to her. She whispered, I think I kinda like you. Then she kissed me. Now, I don't really think I need to explain what else happened this night. The rain had stopped around midnight. Sadly, it started snowing. We woke up freezing cold in our underwear with snow all around the outside of the tree. We pulled on our clothes and walked outside. There was 2 feet of snow. Dash somehow managed to fly us home in the snow, and when we got there it was 4.5 feet deep. My brother actually had to open a window and let us in that way because he didn't want it all to come in the door. One moment. Oh, sorry about that. Dash called her dad, and he said he couldn't even leave work, so she'd have to stay the night again. My brother spent 2 hours shoveling a path to the garage. Then he attached a plow to his truck and plowed away to the main road. He drove us to the grocery store and left us on our own with $50 while he went shopping by himself. We spent almost all of it on some birth control pills for Dash. Then we spent what was left on some giant lollipops. About an hour later, my brother had finished shopping and drove us home. Then we got a call from Dash's dad. Turns out he had been promoted to being boss of that section of the company, and he was given an apartment for free at the office. He told Dash that he was selling their house and that she could stay at the apartment and at our house at their own free will. Dash stayed with us until the snow melted on Saturday the next week. Then she spent 2 days with her dad. At school on Monday, that same group of jerks confronted her again. However, this time they said they were sorry. Turns out my brother knew one of them, and, well, when he caught a glimpse of the kids staggering out from behind the school when we drove off, he called his parents. They had promptly grounded them from everything but the kitchen sink. The next few months passed without incident. Summer break came and, well, we were free to do whatever we wanted for 3 months of bliss. However, that's not how it played out. The first month and a half were fine. Dash would stay for 3 days out of the weekend. We'd occasionally, make love. But that was it. Nothing much until the 21st day in July. It was a special day, being that it was Dash's birthday and all, and after she opened my present, a giant plushie of Rainbow Dash, and we'd eaten some cake, we went outside and walked around for a while. After about 2 hours, it was 7. We laid down on the ground and watched the sunset. that's when we saw it. Small shape blot in the sky to the north. I pointed it out to Dash. Look at that. What do you think it is? I don't know. But it's getting closer. Let's fly up and check it out. Dash took off her shirt and rearranged it into her flight suit. Then she grabbed me and we were off. After 2 or 3 minutes, the object was big enough to be recognized, except it didn't look like anything either of us had ever seen before. It was a small aircraft, big enough to fit a person. There weren't any guns or missiles on it, only some hooks on the top. Dash purposefully caught her feet in one end. I did the same. The man flying it got out and walked toward us, expertly hooking his feet in the footholds. His hand was at a sword on his belt. Hello, he had said. He spoke with a thick British accent. My name is Eric, and I will be your informer today. What? Dash asked. Allow me to explain, the man continued. During the Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln was born. He was renowned for always wearing a top hat. That wasn't a fashion statement. One of Lincoln's parents was human. The other was a unicorn. Hence, Lincoln's tall hat. John Wilkes Booth, Lincoln's assassin, was actually, though every historian alive will deny it, Lincoln's brother-in-law. This is how Booth inadvertently discovered the truth about Lincoln's existence. Well, after Booth's wife gave birth to a son, Booth told his father of Lincoln's true identity and the reason he was killing him. He had one final message. Kill all of them. Needless to say, Booth succeeded in his assassination, and Lincoln died. Now, some 150 years later, the organization his brother started is still alive. I am in one of those organizations. Now, don't be alarmed. I'm not here to kill you. That job is for the more violent members of our little group. Your middle school friend, Adriana, was it? Well, we sent her parents a warning as well. They didn't heed it. Now, they're all dead. I suggest you listen to what I've said. You have 3 days, then we will come. If you wish to turn yourself in, we will be singing in California. Farewell. He jumped backwards into the cockpit and sped off, flinging us off the back of the aircraft. Dash barely managed to grab me before he hit the floor. We have to leave, I had said. Where will we go? I don't know. We have to ask my brother. We flew home and told my brother the entire story. Well, he's good-natured and humorous most of the time. When it has to deal with death and other serious things, that attitude disappears. When I had finished, he said, I can't go with you. Why not? I had asked. I have to take care of the house. The last thing I ever heard Mom say was to keep the house safe while she was gone. Then when she and Dad left to go to the movies, the night they died in that wreck, I want to honor that last request of hers. He went into his bedroom and came back out. Here, I've been saving up some money for a new car. You can have it. He handed me $2,000 in hundreds. I can't take this. Yes, you can, he had yelled. I'm only staying because Mom told me to. If it weren't for that, I'd be going with you. This is the least I can do to make up for it. Now go. I said goodbye and we left. Alright, that's going to conclude part 2 of Dash My Love, the reading. I hope you guys enjoyed.